You may or may not know this, I don't know, okay? When it tells you about like trying to solve for one particular angle like this, okay? The question came up, well, what does that mean, okay? Well, it's talking about angle ECD. Well, how come there's 3 vertices listed if we're talking about one particular angle? The way this is going to go, you're going to start at angle ECD, and if you were to create that angle, it wants the angle right there, angle X, obviously, it's the one that's labeled. But just to bring to your attention, okay, in the event that something's not labeled on EQAO, but it just does this, that's how you do that. Label all 3 points, okay, and then connect them. And the connection tells you which angle they're interested in. BC. All right, does that make sense, everybody? Just in case, that was a good question that came up. I didn't talk about it. Okay, but that's just a formality thing. In the event that they don't label the angle that they want to solve for, but they instead say angle ECD, that's how you label that and figure out which angle they actually want you to solve for. Okay? Does that make sense? So, do we have any questions that you want to see done before we move on? You tell me. Be any of them. Chances are, if you had a question, somebody else has a question, so it's all right. Amanda? 4B? Okay. So, right off the bat, I think the issue with this question is I think we're going to get some funny number for y, and we're going to have to interpret it when we're going to find out. But if I relate back to Mr. Polling's point at the top, drawings are never to scale. So we'll see what we get for an answer, see if everybody's happy with it, and then we'll try to make sense of it in the best way we can, okay? Right off the bat, I think your best move, because you got 2 variables here, if you were to add, we've got a quadrilateral here, right? And we know that all the interior angles have to add to 360 for this, right? Now the problem is, if you were to try and do that, you'd have an X and a Y to try and solve for. So I think the easiest thing to do maybe is to find X right off the bat. And to do that, I might choose to look at this. Okay, I know that bottom little line segment has to add to 180 degrees, right? Has to add to 180. Okay, so I know, here's what I know. I know X plus 12 plus 110 has to equal the 180. Would everybody agree? So I got 2 pieces there. I know both pieces. It doesn't matter what's there. I know both pieces have to add to 180 degrees because that's how many degrees are in a line segment. Would everybody agree with that? Okay, so once you've established that, we don't necessarily need the brackets. I just put them there to separate things. Solve for X. You know how to do that. You could do this first if you wanted. Combine that and make it 122. Subtract 122 from both sides. Sorry. 180, take away 122. That creates a 0 pair there, which we're all familiar with at this point. And so X is going to equal 180, take away 122. What's that? Do we know what that is? Amanda? Did you say 58? Sorry. Yeah. It's 58 degrees. Okay? So that's what X... Oh, it's not... Sorry. It's not 58 degrees. That's just what X is. So X equals 58. And now I can take that and put it into all of the vertices. So I could go 58, 58, 58. That's going to go in for X everywhere. And now I can know each measure of those angles. Okay? So here's maybe what you might choose to do as well. Like maybe I got multiple steps here, so I'm gonna move this over. Okay. We know the quadrilateral. We already established this has to add the 360 on the inside. Okay, so what we're going to do is say, okay, each one of these angles, if you didn't want to plug in the 58 from the get-go, you could say x plus 20 plus, sorry, that looks not too good, x minus 39 plus x plus 12 plus y, all of that has to equal what? 360. That's it. I'm running out of room. That has to equal 360. Okay, and so if you were to do this algebraically, like let's again, oh, I wasn't with you. It was in that class. Let's pretend you made a mistake calculating for x. Just pretend. Right? If you were to substitute what you solved for x for into that equation right now, your answer would, well, either way your answer is going to be wrong, but if you show me more work, I can give you more marks. Does that make sense? So what I might choose to do here is go, okay, well, let's collect all the like terms, right? So I could go, how many x's do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. So 3x plus 20 minus 39 plus 12. Does anybody know that?
-7.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. -7. And then plus y. Does that seem right? The 360? Sorry, that looks like a 4. Okay, and now might be a good time to plug in what x is. Does that make sense? So we could say, okay, 3, or get x by, or y by itself, whatever. It doesn't matter at this point, I don't think. So 3 times 58 minus 7 plus y. Oh my goodness, that looks like a 4. 360. So 3 times 58 would be what? 24, 174? Am I close?
167. You mean 58 times 3?
Yeah.
167.
167? Is that right?
I can double check. Oh no, that's wrong.
No, I think you're right, Luca. I think you did 167s after you subtract the 7 off.
174. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I subtract
You're right.
the 7, yeah.
You're right. So 160, what did we say, Luca?
167 plus y equals 360.
167 plus y equals 360. And so y is going to equal the 360, take away 167. Y is equal to
193.
Is that what you got? Oh, I thought you had 199 on your page. That's why I was confused. All right. Now, that's a tough one to interpret. Tough one to interpret. Is this your question, Amanda, how to interpret, or did you have any issue getting the answer?
No, I got the same.
Okay. So, I guess as a group, we got to figure out how to interpret that. It's obviously a reflex thing, but I don't know how to, like... I don't know. 190, if I was looking at 193, think about, like, in reality, this is maybe, like, if I was doing what I'm doing right now. 193 should look something like this. If I had my 180, 193 would be something like this. If I was doing that. But again, that's an I don't know. I'll have to ask Mr. Poland. Aaron, do you have some insight?
I have realized that does make a shape, like that does make a just doesn't make.
Doesn't make
shape
sense.
that Remotely. Looks anything like
I suppose,
the shape.
because Mr. Poling said this doesn't, the picture's not drawn to scale, I suppose what it could look like, Aaron, is maybe something like this. If he did this, maybe the side length could be over here a little bit more. Oh no, that doesn't make, I don't know, Aaron. I don't know. I have to ask him. Anyway, that's